Welcome back to another episode of Freaky Friday. This is week 2. Basically, this is a segment that I started on my channel of doing a spooky video every Friday leading up to Halloween because Halloween is on a Friday this year. So today's Freaky Friday episode, I'm going to be reading paranormal or just scary Reddit stories while trying to do special effects makeup. So I used to do special effects makeup and I used to want to be a makeup artist. I will insert some pictures here. I used to do special effects makeup and I used to use liquid latex and scar wax and spirit gum and all of that. And I haven't done it in years, so I thought it would be fun to try and use it today. I'm really nervous and I have to go to work in like 3 hours. And usually this stuff takes me a long time, so I'm kind of nervous, but I'm excited. I don't really have a specific look in mind. I think I just want to do like some bloody scars on my face. I think I'm gonna start with like a smile and then maybe do some stuff on my forehead. I'm not really sure yet. We're just gonna go with the flow and see what happens. Okay, so I got this Halloween special effects makeup kit because I don't know where all of my old stuff went. I know I had scar wax and spirit gum. I don't think I had any liquid latex left. Oh, this doesn't come with, oh, it does come with latex. Okay. So, and if you guys want this for Halloween, it was only like $25. It comes with a bottle of liquid latex, clear and flesh colored. Then it comes with squirt blood and coagulated blood gel. This stuff is really good because it's thick and it looks so real. Comes with 2 different sponges. It comes with the scar wax. This stuff is so cool. And then it comes with the little scalpel to scoop it out. It comes with some bruise colored, makeup. It comes with these little applicator sponges. And it also comes with Q-tips. I'm super excited. I don't really remember the correct way to use all this stuff. So I'm just going to go for it. If it turns out, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. We're just having fun today. Like, I haven't played with makeup in so long. I barely wear makeup anymore. So it is really nice to do this. Okay, here's the scar wax. So what I can remember is you need kind of like a ball of it. Oh, this is hard as fuck. You need to scoop some out. I don't remember it being this hard. You scoop some out and you warm it up in your hand. And then you apply it to your face. I don't think you need anything to apply it. Hopefully not, because I didn't get any spirit gum. But I'm sure we could use the liquid latex. This is very hard. I don't remember the stuff I had being this hard. It's like barely able to get out of the container. This is all I have so far. Like, that's not enough. Okay, we're going to try forming it into like a snake, like a sausage, putting it there, and then seeing if we could make it look like the skin's lifting up. Okay. I'm giving up on the scar wax for now. I just cannot be bothered with it. And now, oh, this is stinging my eyes. I'm just gonna put toilet paper. I cannot be bothered right now with the scar wax. It is way too... You know what I just realized? Why am I doing this around my mouth when I'm going to have to tell stories? Like, I'm not going to be able to move my face soon. I did not blend this through properly. Okay, this is coming from r/paranormal. The title is, I'm terrified to live in my own house. My house is about 94 years old. I moved in with my spouse about a year ago, and our experiences have me terrified in my own home. Right when we first moved in, odd things started to happen, but we chalked it up to being an old house and us adjusting. There would be weird knocks around the house, temperature changes, and everything that can be easily explained away. But over the past year, things have gone entirely downhill. There have been instances where I wake up in the middle of the night sweating beyond belief. It's literally hot as a furnace, and it feels like my skin is peeling off. My partner has experienced this also. Just as much, it often gets freezing in the house, even on a sunny hot day. So much so that we can see breath when we exhale. There are loud sounds that occur, but we have never been able to find the source. Water in the sinks will be turned on and off. You have to turn the knob to do that, and neither of us did. And it reeks in the house. It smells like mold or rot or fire, but then the odor will vanish just as quickly as it started. We have had specialists over to look at everything, even multiple times. But mold inspectors, electricians, plumbers, HVAC technicians, everyone, all of them reported that there is nothing wrong, everything is up to code, and that there are no problems. There was one day back in August when I was home alone, cleaning the house, and I heard my partner's voice yell a "hey" at me from upstairs. I thought I was hearing things, but I heard it again, then again. I was confused, so I headed upstairs to see what the sound was. Maybe I had misheard or something, but the second I got upstairs, I heard the same yell from downstairs. Oh my god, it's a mimic. Not only that, but it started to call my name specifically. The calling out continued and loud bangs started to sound, like someone was throwing stuff around. But no matter where I went in the house, they sounded just as loud. I was so disturbed and practically hysterical by the time my spouse returned home. Not only that, but I swear whatever this is trying to harm us. I've been laying in bed when I suddenly feel as though I'm being choked. Oh my god. It's literally like laying on top of them. I feel something around my neck, tightening and cutting off my breathing. I have no respiratory issues and I have been to the doctor. Both my spouse and I have felt as if we've been hit or scratched or punched despite there being nothing there. Whatever it is feels ill intentioned to me. I am scared to be alone in my home. I can barely sleep. All of my life I have been a skeptic, but I just don't know how to handle this anymore or if I should try to do anything. Oh my god, I don't even know like how you would handle living like that, like with just some unknown source just causing you distress all the time. It's funny because they said they've had everybody come in. It's like you need to have a priest come in. You need to have like a medium come in and try to get rid of this thing because clearly you found out that it's nothing to do with the house itself. So you have to have someone come in and do something. I don't know. This comment doesn't sound helpful. They're like, one thing that you can do that worked wonders for me is completely ignore it. It's like, okay, yeah, let me just ignore being choked to death in my bed. Let me just ignore someone who's not home screaming my name. Like, how do you ignore that? I'm not going to read the whole comment, but that's kind of crazy. Okay, this thing is feeling pretty dry. We're going to do a second layer. Yeah, I've never experienced anything like that. I've always wanted to because I love the idea of being haunted, which is kind of crazy because I feel like if it was actually happening. Okay, I say I would lose my mind, but at the same time, oh my god, it's burning my eyes. I say I would lose my mind, but at the same time, like, I would just talk to the spirit. I would start talking to it. I would get my Ouija board out and, like, I would try to reason with it. I would be like, what the hell do you want? Like, this is a thing. I understand people are scared, but it's like, have you ever tried, like, actually talking to it and seeing what the fuck it wants? Because clearly there's a sentient being in your house. So just try talking to it. And then if that doesn't work, then call a priest. But sometimes I feel like spirits just want to be acknowledged. Some do want to cause harm, like demons and stuff. Oh my god, this reminds me, I just recently watched the new Insidious. It was so good. I haven't liked the horror movies that are coming out lately. I just feel like nothing beats the original Insidious, Conjuring. Did I say Insidious? I said I saw the new Conjuring movie. Nothing beats the originals of those. Nothing beats like Annabelle, Conjuring, Insidious, like that era. And it's really rare for movies to be good like that anymore. Like I just feel like they're not scary. They're just like not that nostalgic feeling. But the new Conjuring that came out gave me that feeling and it felt like such a good ending to the series. I feel like the new Insidiouses, like especially number 4, I didn't really like it. I just feel like they kind of got worse as they went on. I feel like the last one was okay, but I just haven't felt like that, like, oh my god, energy. And when I saw The Conjuring, the last one, it was so good. I literally, like, the first scene had me bawling my eyes out. And like it was actually scary. It was just so good. I was like, "Oh my god, this makes me like feel connected to my 13-year-old self who was obsessed with those movies." I don't know how I'm going to make this look good. Like this is this is looking kind of crazy. I also dumped the cap full that I had of liquid latex on the ground. So that's cool. Okay, let's read another story. Okay, this one's pretty long. This one is paranormal slash demons. It all started when I lived in a horribly haunted house. I cannot express how bad it was into words. Every night was a struggle to sleep because I was terrified. Recently, I was talking to my little sister about it, and she told me she constantly had this dream over and over of the house inside with the lights off, and someone knocking on the door, and her seeing my mom answering the door, and the devil was outside standing there and came in, but it's like my mom acting like she didn't know it was there and only my sister could see it. Okay, this is a run on sentence. There is not a single period in sight. And she was asking my sister what was wrong. She said it was kind of what Ghost Face wears, like that black gown thing, but it wasn't like a dress, it was a sweater. You couldn't really see the face, but like the eyes were glowing, and it had huge ass horns, and it was wearing all black. She also said I only saw what it looked like once because after I did, it scared me so bad, and every time I would realize I'm having that dream, I would wake myself up because I did not want to see that thing again. And it was weird because I knew I was in a dream, but I couldn't really control myself. She also told me he was really tall and had a cane. If anyone knows what this could mean, please let me know. I used to see crazy things at the old house when I was a kid, and I always had the feeling it's following me and attached to me somehow. I would see things every day, but only at night. I would hear things moving, and the back door system would go off at night with the voice that would say, "Back door loud, back door," on loud on the security system. I'd go to lock the back door, it would go off when it was locked and unlocked by itself, and no, it wasn't a dream. I'd see things walk in the hallway that looked like someone, but it always looked like an old man, and I would always go to sleep facing down on top of my mom on the couch and would feel something touch my back and head multiple times and got the worst feeling and knew it wasn't anyone in the house and would always wake up on the floor the next morning. I would stay up and play Roblox every night, and my dog named Buddy would look high up right beside me and just stare and growl and bark at the same spot mostly every night, and I would have horrible nightmares every night about demons to the point where I'd be terrified to go to sleep and would force myself to stay awake all night until the sun came up. I know I sound crazy, but the old house was not good at all. Okay, this house actually sounds like crazy. What's creepy is I used to get sleep paralysis every day here with that same looking creepy thing from the bathroom where I saw this black tall thing with long fingers leaning over the bathroom door, peeking, and it would be standing over me and I couldn't move. When I tried to scream or talk, I couldn't. It was scary. I've had sleep paralysis at my aunt's old house too, and it was the same thing, standing at the edge of my cousin's bed staring at me. It looked exactly like the picture I put in this story at the top. Where's the picture? Sorry, y'all. I forgot to record on my screen. So, sorry about that. I don't know what picture they're referring to, but it's not here. Now, recently, I don't live at my house really. I spent the night there and started hearing crying from my sister's room that sounded exactly like her, and I was worried it was 4 a.m. and couldn't sleep for some reason. I was on the couch that was by the hallway that led to her room on the right. I went to check on her, unlocked her door with my fingernail because it's one of those locks, and I opened the door and she was sound asleep, not making any noise at all. Said her name multiple times. She was for sure deep asleep. Before I opened her door, I heard crying softly, very, for a few seconds. She does not have issues with crying in her sleep or talking. The most she does is cough sometimes, and I can tell the difference. I closed the door and didn't really think about the fact that I heard it coming from her door. Well, here's where it gets worse, lol. I went back to the couch, started hearing it again, like it was louder this time, like it was in the hallway closet where her room door is by. My sister had also told me she had heard me crying when I wasn't staying at the house that night behind her room where the closet would be in the hallway, really loud, and it sounded exactly like me, like someone was sobbing. That's when I realized it was something not normal. And I started crying because I was really stressed out and was so relieved my sister was okay and not up crying and just felt a lot of sadness and anxiety out of nowhere. Well, the sound got closer, like it came out of the closet and was closer to me where the hallway started, but this time it sounded not exactly like her. This time, sorry, this person's writing is so bad. I can't. I'm sorry. It sounded exactly like her this time, and it sounded like a girl was groaning in pain and sobbing, and that's when I started freaking out and woke up my boyfriend next to me, and it stopped. Or at least I think I forced myself, or at least I think. I forced myself to sleep right after, like when I used to do as a kid when things got really bad and scary. Does anyone know what my sister's dream over and over was about? And if something maybe attached to me and maybe my sister or my family, my grandma would wake up in the middle of the night at my old house and scream because she saw an old man's face floating above her, yelling at her. Things at my new house get thrown around across my room or the kitchen. I didn't ever think of these things as really bad, but I'm starting to think it's bad. My parents have experienced things too at the old house, in our new house, and staged the house, but I think it may have made things worse. Please give me some advice or what could be happening and how I can help. Help this all get better because it's becoming a bigger and bigger problem. Not to mention, I've also heard my grandma in the same new house trying to call out my name, but she passed a year ago from cancer in the house, and it was after a little while it happened. Oh my god, this literally sounds like the Insidious scene where like all of these um like demons and ghosts are trying to grab at them when they're in the other world. This is so terrifying. Like for sure they have something attached to them because it's the fact that they moved and it's still the same thing. And this was posted a month ago, and for some reason there's like no comments. I don't really understand what that's about cuz what the this story is absolutely crazy. I feel like definitely they need to do something because they have something attached to them. I don't know how people live like that. I also used to get sleep paralysis really bad as a kid. I'm actually going to leave that till the end of the video though because it has to do with my personal like Ouija board story. Okay, this is what we're working with. It's pretty dry. I don't really know how I'm going to get the scar effect. I think I need to cut it with this, and I'm scared I'm going to cut my face open and have a literal fucking wound. But we're going to try it anyways. I don't know if this is thick enough to cut. Okay, I need to do this off camera so I don't cut myself. Okay, I know it looks crazy, but hear me out. These scissors barely work. So trying to cut a slit in it is impossible. So I'm just gonna rip it off and then cut it and then glue the two strips back on because that's the only thing I can do. Now I have my two little skin flaps. I'm gonna put one here and one here, and I'm gonna fill in the gap with blood and make it look gross. Okay, this is what we're working with. It looks kind of fucking crazy. I don't know how I'm gonna get the edges to look good, but you know what? There's a first time for everything, even though this isn't my first time, but it's fine. We're doing it for fun. Okay, it's time for the third story. So this one, I didn't think this one was really scary. I just thought it was interesting. So it's called The Man Who Keeps Showing Up in Our Family's Dreams. And then it has a picture of a man in a suit, and he's very handsome. Very handsome, okay? It's very short. So it says, a few nights ago, I told my grandmother about a man I keep seeing in my dreams. He's never doing anything, just standing in the background watching. She went to her cabinet and pulled out an old photograph. It was the same face. She told me that my great great grandmother had once been married to a scientist named Adrian Navia in the early 1900s. He was known in the family for his strange obsession with dreams. He believed people could carry parts of themselves into other people's sleep. After he died in 1932, everyone said the dreams stopped. Why am I seeing him now? The reason I think this is so cool is because there's so many like theories and possibilities of what this could be. First theory is he could be time traveling. Back then, if he was that obsessed with dreams, he was probably doing some sort of experiments, and I'm wondering if he projected himself into someone's dream in the future and was trying to tell them like what is possible, because in his time it was probably like seen as crazy, and it still is today. I don't know why people even deny that dreams are something otherworldly at this point. I just feel like they're too insane and weird and unexplainable to just be like, oh yeah, it's just a dream. Like, what do you mean? You're literally going somewhere. I believe your consciousness is going somewhere. And so I think that he was projecting his consciousness. And did he know who she was? Maybe. Or maybe he was just like, I'm going to project my consciousness, and whoever is psychically able to pick that up is going to pick it up. Maybe she is just very psychically in touch and is seeing someone from the past. But honestly, I want to go with the first theory. I think it's more likely that, or maybe it's both. I think it's more likely like they both have some sort of psychic abilities and they're more advanced than other people in their family. And because of that, their consciousness kind of like linked up. Like that's what I think. Is like they're linking up in the dream world. And he's seeing her like, oh, you can see me. You can see and prove my theory that it's true. So I think that's really fucking cool. Okay, this one is called Nanny Gone Wrong. Last year, we hired a nanny to take care of our baby. She was only with us for 3 months, but in that time, our home became unrecognizable. Like something really dark had come in our house with her. Okay, the fact that, like, I was thinking about this, like, side topic, but the idea of having somebody babysit your kid is so terrifying. I feel like I'm gonna be such a helicopter parent because, like, I don't know. You just never know someone. You can think you know someone super close to you and you still don't know them. So it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like I could never do that. And no hate to anybody that does. I'm just saying, like, the idea of it freaks me the fuck out. The first warning came the night she was interviewed. That evening, we went downstairs and found a dead bat in our basement. We still don't know how it got there. I take that shit seriously because there was a time when I was walking, and this was when I was very in touch with my psychic abilities. I was on a walk and I saw three dead animals in a row on this walk. And I remember just thinking, like, something bad's gonna happen. And I remember my sister was on a trip with her friends. And I just said, like, I just saw three dead animals. I don't know what it means, but please be careful. And nothing bad happened, thank God. But that day, her and her friends, like everybody on the trip, got into a huge argument. And I thought it was weird that like my first instinct was to message my sister. Like I could have felt that energy about anything, but I felt it towards her specifically. So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I take this shit seriously with the dead animals. I feel like they are signs, they're omens, they're warnings that like something's off. After she was working, the dead birds came. Every week when she would come to sit, a bird would hit our window and die. Okay, that's literally straight up out of a horror movie. That's crazy. It was random but strange. By the end of those months, we have counted 8 of them. Inside, our fish that we had for 2 years died, our plants all withered, and the air felt heavy as if there was something evil in our home. Oh my god, she's literally sucking like the life out of everything. Our dog would not like it when she would hold our son and would bark at her constantly. The day we let her go, she growled at her 3 times. Oh my god, I feel like that's so scary because animals are so sensitive to that stuff, and it makes you wonder, like, who is this person really? Like, aside from humans and what they're capable of doing, what if she was something more? What if she was a demon disguised as a human? During these 3 months, I injured my knee. My husband fell in the basement and hurt his shoulder, and his car suddenly had issues with a $1,500 repair. We have fairly new cars. Our 6-month-old baby ended up in the hospital with a UTI, which is not common for his age. That's weird. And I feel like this is really dark, but that could be something deeper. Like, if this person is that evil and they are working with kids, it makes you wonder, like, why? And it makes you wonder, why did he have something wrong with his, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say certain words, but I'm getting that vibe. Like, it's giving, I don't know, fucking gross energy. Our dog had pancreatitis 3 times. It was draining us emotionally with the constant vet visits and vet bills. We were sick nearly every weekend with a random uneasy feeling of nausea and general feeling of just unwell. The moment we let her go, it all stopped. It's been a year now, not a single bird has hit our windows, no more bad luck. Sometimes I wonder if she took the evil somewhere else. That is crazy. And it makes you wonder, like, does this person know? Or are they just someone that has dark energy and they don't even know? Or, because I feel like if they knew and they were consciously evil, wouldn't they try to put, like, an attachment onto them? I feel like somebody that evil wouldn't just take the evil with them. They would try to make it stay and they would attach it. I don't know. That is really crazy that, like, normal everyday regular people are having these experiences. It's just so crazy. Okay, so someone commented, what was her personality like? They said she always had something bad that would happen to her weekly, upset all the time. I would always wonder why someone would have so much bad luck. That's interesting because I feel like I know people like that. It's like you have bad things happen to your life and then you start to only see the bad things, and then you become one of those people that are just like constantly upset about all the things going bad, but then it's like, how do you stop being upset when things keep going bad? And I feel like we all have been that type of person. You have to consciously decide to not be that person, and it sounds like this person is just somebody that's so far deep in that it's almost like manifested into something worse. Honestly, that sounds like such a good horror movie, like just called like The Nanny or something, and it's just all these spooky stuff. Like that, I wish somebody would make a movie out of that. Okay, now we're gonna fill the scars with some bloody, bruisey colors. I think, how do I open this? I think I'm just gonna use the Q-tips for this. Okay, this feels like the fun part. The liquid latex part stresses me out, but this part is fun because you got to make it really look like it's coming to life, and it starts to look more real and cool and creepy and gross. And you really don't need to be super precise with it. That's what I like about special effects makeup, is like you can be kind of messy and it will still look good because it's supposed to be like a messy wound. It's not like a makeup look that you have to make look super put together. Oh my god. Why does this kind of look like, you know what? Maybe instead of a scar, we're gonna call this a flesh-eating disease because it low-key kind of looks like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. I want to leave some white parts so you can still see like the skin element to it. I feel like these parts I need to make less blobby looking. I don't know, we'll deal with that later. Okay, what do you guys think? I feel like it looks cool. Like if I were to add blood to this, maybe blend out this a little bit somehow, it would look interesting. Okay, we're gonna do that now. Oh my god, the yellow is so good because it makes you look like your skin's kind of like more bruised and like rotting. Like it's giving like that greeny, like bruised color. Ooh, maybe I should try adding some green and seeing what that does. Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Let's wipe that off. Okay, let's do another story. So, this one is called My Kid Has Been Saying Some Creepy Stuff Lately. I'm an absolute wuss regarding these things. Please help. Info that feels important. We moved to this house 2 years ago. Previous owners were here for 2 years. The ones before were here for a year, and the ones before that were here for a decade. They were the original owners. I'm not a witchy person, but I know there's shit out there that I can't explain. I know salt, ash, and blood are powerful tools, and 3 a.m. scares me. I have a preschool aged girl. My mother watches her while I work. My mom sent me this text yesterday. Mom, creepy story. I forgot to plug in the child's tablet and it died. While it was charging, she was on the floor playing with her dinosaurs. She got up, came over to me, and asked, "Why did you open my door? Her door is closed." I told her that no one opened her door and that it is closed. She said that a person opened the door and stomped into her room and that they were wearing stripes all over. I asked her when this happened, but she just kept repeating the story. I stopped myself from asking if it scared her. I didn't want to put that idea into her head. I wasn't sure how to ask her how it made her feel. She seemed to be more curious than scared. Around this time last year, my kid kept waking up crying about angry eyebrows in her walls. I had her help me rub her walls with salt and burn a candle. It helped a lot. She hasn't been scared or said anything creepy since until yesterday. Then, last night, while I was putting her to bed, she kept looking at the door and quietly crying, oh no, and hiding her face. I couldn't get any info out of her, but I had an icky off feeling. Middle of the night at 3:48, there was a loud thud picked up by our baby monitor, but nothing to cause it, and she didn't wake up. I'm trying to convince myself that this was just the cat being a cat, though nothing in the hallway was disturbed, and the monitor doesn't record, it's just a cheap one, basically a walkie talkie. What do I do? What can I do? Should I get my kid into therapy? Should I burn sage that I grew myself? Should I salt her room again? Add ash? I tried asking in the witch subreddit and then spells subreddit, and they both said this belonged here and deleted my post. That's crazy. I feel like no matter what, I would just always go to a priest. Even though like I'm not super religious, I feel like there is something about, and I don't even know who you would contact because I feel like nobody in the area that I live in, if I came to them, like any church, and told them this, they wouldn't come to my house. Maybe they would to just like bless the home, but like they're not gonna try and like talk to anything. I feel like they're not gonna do that. They're just gonna encourage you to come to church and maybe bless your home, but that might help. No, it's been removed. Why did they remove it? Okay, I'll summarize it for you guys because I already read it. But basically, this story is from a person that said they went to a school. I think they said they were in elementary school and they had a friend and they can't remember their name, but they were best friends with him. They said he had brown hair and blue eyes, or maybe blonde hair and blue eyes. And they said that they would hang out with him every single day. And one day he was like, "Oh, let's go to like this rooftop or something, or abandoned part of the school or something like that." And he's like, "I want to do a demonic ritual or a satanic ritual." I'm sorry. I know like kids be doing stuff. Like I used to play the Ouija board, which I'm going to get into. But if anybody came to me and said I want to do a satanic ritual, the first question I would say is why? What are you trying to accomplish? So the person's like, "Oh yeah, I just did it. Like I didn't really question anything." So they said they got there and he had all like these like candles and a pentagram on the ground or something. And then they said they woke up on the ground and they were out for an hour and a half unconscious. And they asked their friend what happened, and I don't even know what he said. And then he said he felt sick and groggy and all this stuff, and then he went to school the next day and the guy wasn't there and he couldn't remember his name, and he asked everyone like, "Where is the person I used to hang out with?" Because he couldn't remember his name, and everybody was like, "I don't, what are you talking about?" Which is crazy because it makes you wonder, like, did he do something to erase everybody's memories? Because surely they would have seen him hanging out with him if they were best friends that hung out every single day. And then after that, I don't remember if they said anything spooky happened, but they just could not remember the person at all. They looked through yearbooks, all this stuff, and they couldn't find them. And I'm just wondering, like, what did he do? I feel like it's like you have to go do something after that. Like you have to get something removed off of you because he probably put something on you, attachment, a curse or something. Like I wouldn't be able to sleep knowing that something happened to me while I was unconscious and I don't know what it is. And now the person that did it is gone. Like how do you cope after that? Like I don't know. I just feel like I would have to go to a priest or go to a medium or something and say that they have to exorcise me because I would be so terrified. Okay, we're gonna add the blood now, which I'm really excited about. I think I'm gonna put the thick blood on the inside, and I'm gonna put the thinner blood on the outside. Ooh, this smells good. It smells sweet, like fruity. Ooh, look at how thick. I forgot how thick this stuff is. Yeah, this stuff is amazing because it just looks so real. Okay, now we're gonna take the loose blood, which I'm scared about getting this everywhere. Ooh, it's very runny. Okay, and we're gonna use like this like splattery looking sponge. Seeing, oh, if we can. Oh, this is very loose. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's dripping, it's dripping, it's dripping. It's getting all over me. Ah! It's dripping everywhere! It's not really sticking to the latex. Oh my god, I'm covered in it. I'm covered in it. Help! Ugh! It's in my mouth and it's salty. Help! We're gonna go back to the thick blood because I feel like I can make it look better with this. Okay, I added the blood. I added some bruises under my eyes to kind of connect it because I feel like these just looked like blobs. I feel like I did a really good job. I just feel like the placement wasn't great. Like, if I had it more on my cheek or maybe on my forehead, I just feel like the two symmetrical blobs doesn't make sense. But other than that, I feel like it looks really cool. Like, I'm kind of like a zombie. I know I could add more to it, like teeth or something, but ooh, actually, I have an idea. Okay, I added some bruising to the mouth to make it kind of look like this area is kind of like infected and gross. And yeah, I know I could add more, maybe like wounds here or there, but I think I'm gonna stop because this is messy and I've honestly had enough of this being on my fucking face. But to end off the video, we are going to be talking about my personal spooky stories and my experience with the paranormal. Okay, so this all started when I was 13 years old, and it all actually started with the Insidious movies. I remember just being obsessed with those movies. Me and my sister loved them, me and my best friend loved them. We just loved watching horror movies. And we started like getting more into paranormal stuff and ghosts and wanting to talk to ghosts. And we were just so intrigued by the idea that like there is potential spirits around and we could talk to them. So me and my sister begged my mom for a Ouija board and she bought us one. She didn't want to, but she ended up doing it. And we started playing with that thing every single weekend. It became like our sleepover activity that we would do with our friends. We would pull out the Ouija board, we would ask it questions, we would all scream, and every time we would play it, we obviously didn't know for sure that nobody was moving it. However, me and my sister both believed in it so hard and took it so seriously that when we did it together, we knew for a fact that no one was moving it. Like I wouldn't move it and she wouldn't move it. We both like made a pact together and we both wanted to just communicate with spirits. We didn't want to pull jokes on each other. We didn't want to fuck around. We wanted to communicate. And so yes, we did it with our friends all the time and some spooky stuff happened, but we don't know for sure if those times were real. And so I remember one time me and my sister were playing it with each other and we were in my dad's old apartment building that we used to live in. And I always got creepy vibes from being in there. And there actually was a woman that died in that building when I was a bit younger. She drowned in a bathtub, which is really fucking sad. But the building itself was just old, really like in a not great area. And it was just weird vibes already with just the type of people that live there. But I just felt weird vibes being there. It creeped me out. It scared me. And so when we started playing the Ouija board, I got even more scared. And one night we were playing it and we were asking it questions and we got this spirit and we were asking like if it was in the room with us and it said yes. And I got like this overwhelming sinking feeling come over me, like I could feel dark energy in the room. And we started asking like, okay, like where are you in the room? And it would say like we would ask it questions and we basically got the idea that it was in the room because we were asking, okay, what's the color of this, and it was answering all the correct things. After we realized like, okay, there is something in the room with us right now, it is looking at us and it knows what the room layout is, so it is here. I got this overwhelming feeling out of nowhere, like I was gonna bawl my eyes out. Like I felt like intense sadness, intense pain, and I just felt like I wanted to cry. Like, and it wasn't my emotions because it was out of nowhere. It felt like a wave just came over me. And I remember we asked it if it lived in the purgatory because that was something that we were really interested in learning about. This thing called the purgatory, which is like an in between plane of existence that spirits just roam on. And so we asked and it said yes. And we asked if it was sad and it said yes. And then that's when I had that overwhelming feeling. It was like it took its pain and put it into my body and I felt all of it. And looking back now, that is so dangerous because we used to be like, oh, use our energy to move the planchette. Because when you first start going, it's like nothing happens for a while and it's like they need energy to move it. And we would just be like, oh, yeah, use my energy. Now that I'm older and I know how energy works, I didn't realize that I was straight up like being like, oh yeah, you can use me as a vessel. Like it was so dangerous. And so we did that all the time. And I don't like think there was one inciting incident where I felt like I was possessed or like we had an attachment on our home, but I do feel like that was the case because we had constant negative energy in our house. I'm not going to say like every negative thing that happened was because of this, but I do feel like it contributed to the bad things that were already there. It like amplified it, if that makes sense. So like we had a lot of like fighting with our mom all the time, just like a lot of screaming, yelling. I started having sleep paralysis all the time and I couldn't stop it and it was like tormenting me. Like I remember this one time, one of the first times I got it, I saw like the way my bed was facing a mirror where the mirror was facing the door. So like if I was laying in bed, I could look into the mirror and see my door. So I got sleep paralysis one night and I remember I woke up and I was looking in my room and I couldn't move and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And all of a sudden I see the door in the mirror just creak open and I see a dark figure with a top hat coming into my room. Now, this is something that multiple people have seen. It's like a common thing that people see when they get sleep paralysis. And so I see this thing start to come into my room. And then I don't remember what happened after that. I think I might have just gone back to sleep or what, but all I remember is my heart was beating out of my chest. Another time I had sleep paralysis. This one's actually kind of funny, even though it was still scary as fuck in the moment. I was laying in my bed. I woke up, I had sleep paralysis. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't move." And keep in mind when you get sleep paralysis, it is the most terrifying thing in the world because you literally can't move and then all of a sudden you start hearing whispers, people calling your name like, and to this day I don't know if it's hallucinations or if it's real. Part of me thinks it's real, especially because all of the spirit stuff I was messing with at the time. I feel like I feel like maybe it's both. Maybe you are hallucinating, but the dark energy around you is manipulating those hallucinations to be dark. Because after years after all of this, when I got rid of this negative energy, I had sleep paralysis one time and it wasn't dark. And it's because I wasn't surrounded by that energy anymore. So I feel like it's both. I feel like you are hallucinating, but the hallucinations are able to be manipulated by the spirits that are around you. This one night I was laying in bed and all of a sudden again the door opened and guess what walked in this time? It was a 3 foot tall gray alien. A 3 foot tall fucking gray alien. It opened my door and it was walking very robotically. So, like, basically, it would walk straight and then when it would want to turn towards my bed, it would like turn with its whole body, like, super, like, it was like jerking its whole body. So, it walked in, turned this way, and then it was beside my bed. And I was like laying there, like, what the fuck? And I can't move. And I'm looking, like, I'm laying down, I'm looking around, like, oh my god, oh my god. But like, I can see it, if that makes sense. It's like, I can only see the ceiling, but like it's like I could see above. So I know it's beside my bed and it's fucking standing there and then it walks really quickly to the end of my bed. And so I'm like, "Oh my god. Like there's a fucking alien at the end of my bed and it's standing beside my bed and I can't move." And then all of a sudden, involuntarily, I sit up. So I'm laying down, I'm freaking the fuck out and then all of a sudden like this, I sit up. And I didn't sit up. Something made me sit up. It was a fucking alien that made me sit up. Okay. So now I'm sitting up in my bed and I'm like, what the fuck? All of a sudden, again, involuntarily, my arms start flailing and I start doing this in my bed, flailing all over. My body's like literally, it was insane. I had no control over my body. And I believe that it was controlling my body. Now, whether this was a hallucination and any of this happened, I don't fucking know. All I know is that's what I experienced, and I could feel all of it. I could feel myself in my bed fucking flopping around. And again, I don't know how that one ended. I don't know if I just, I don't fucking know. But it's like, that like was fucked. Like I don't even know how I recovered from that. I never had the demon sitting on my chest like a lot of people talk about. I've always heard my name being called. I've always heard creepy laughing. I remember one time I got it and it was still like 8 p.m. and my light was on and I got it while I just like passed out in my bed. And I remember I could always feel myself going into it and I would start getting really scared, like, oh fuck, here it goes again. Because as soon as it starts, you start hearing things. And so I remember I got it, I was laying on my side facing my wall and I'm like, fuck. And my eyes were open, my lights were on because it was like a school night. It was still 8 p.m. I was doing my homework 2 seconds ago. And I remember again, my door opened and this time it was my mom and sister and they were standing at the door and they were laughing and making fun of me and being creepy. So this is why I feel like it's hallucinations, because I know for a fact they weren't doing that, but in my sleep paralysis they fucking were. And I remember just like you're screaming in your head like, help me, I can't get out, help me, and no one can hear you. It is the most terrifying thing. But one of the most terrifying ones, and one of the last ones I think I ever really got during this time was I slept in my mom's bed a lot because it was really big and comfy. She had a TV. So on the weekends, like I would watch movies in her bed and then sleep in her bed. So this one night, I Actually, no, this night I was in my bed, but I remember my brother came over randomly with like a bunch of his friends and they were all partying downstairs. So I woke up at 3 a.m. and I remember it was like, fuck, like I want to go to sleep, like I'm so tired. And that's the thing that makes you go into sleep paralysis is going to sleep and then waking up and being in like that half awake, half asleep state. You're more likely to get it. So I got up out of my bed and I went to my mom's room and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and sleep in there because you couldn't really hear anything in her room. So I went in her bed and I don't think she was home at the time. She was still at work. And I'm like, okay, let me just go to sleep. So I'm trying to fall back to sleep, and all of a sudden I can feel it coming on again. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot do this. Like, I'm so tired. I just want to sleep. I don't want to deal with being fucking tormented anymore. I'm tired of being scared. Like, I was just so over it. But again, you can't really control it. So my body slips into sleep paralysis. And again, I'm laying on my side. And I remember I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I feel something come to my ear. And I don't remember what it said. I don't remember. Maybe it said my name. Either way, regardless, it was talking in my fucking ear. And the reason that I was so scared is I could feel its hot breath on my ear. I could 100% feel something right here with its hot breath on my ear. And I woke up not long after that. Like, I think I like kind of broke myself out of it and there wasn't anything there, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't a demon that I can't see that was breathing in my fucking ear. And that was so fucking scary. And I do believe this was happening because I was fucking around. I was fucking around with the Ouija board. And this is the other thing. So we would play with the Ouija board, like I said, every weekend. And it got to the point where we had the same demon every time. So this is how it would start off. It would start off with us asking, is there anyone there? Yes. We would get some questions asking, like, how old are you? This, that, trying to figure out if it's a spirit. Every single time it would end up doing, and I'm not going to say the name out loud because I believe it invites it, but it would go from ZO, 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 back and forth. If you guys know about that, you know. But if you don't, look it up. It's a famous demon. And I remember we kind of knew of it when we were getting into all of this, but when we started to get it, we were like, oh fuck, this is bad. We got like the demon that nobody wants to get. And so, yeah, once we got that the first time, we were really fucking scared and we said goodbye right away. But then after that, every time we would play, it would pretend to be a spirit, it would pretend to be a ghost, and then it would always end up saying that. And it would just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I don't know how true this is, but apparently, if it starts doing that, you have to say goodbye because once it starts doing the back and forth, it can possess you. And so it literally got to the point where every fucking time we played it, same thing would happen. It would trick us and then it would end up like that. And we were like, okay, at this point we're bored. Like we didn't even like playing anymore because we don't want to talk to this demon. It does the same thing every time. It's not interesting anymore. So we stopped playing. And after a while, like we all just knew the board was haunted. Like we just like collectively were like, "Oh yeah, our board is possessed by this demon." And we just fucking kept it. We just kept it in our house. Like I said, very dark energy all of those years. I was depressed constantly. I had a lot of bad stuff happen. A lot of it was from my own doing and a lot of it wasn't, but regardless, I feel like it was all amplified. I'm not saying I blame any of my behaviors on that, but again, I feel like if you're fucking with negative energy, you are going to be a negative person. And I remember just all this bad stuff happening with friends and relationships, and then I became very angry and bitter, and I just remember like so many suicidal thoughts so many times. Like it was really fucking dark. And then I got into spirituality and I got into psychedelics and I realized that um, we are one and there is love and God is real because I didn't really believe in God before that. I got to a point where like I didn't really have any proof of God, and so if you don't have a strong faith and you're fucking around with that shit, it's like you have nothing good holding you and you holding on to it. Something else before I get into how I got rid of it. I used to smoke weed a lot too. So again, just low energy of just bumming around all the time. Like it was just very dark energy. And I remember it got to the point where when I would get high, I would have the most evil thoughts in the world. And I knew it was demonic. I remember I would get high, I would be in the mirror brushing my hair, and I would hear this evil voice just start to bully me. And it was like the person looking back at me wasn't me. It was this evil fucking demon, and it was telling me just so many bad things, like about myself, about my character, about my appearance. It was just straight up bullying me. And I was like, I need to quit smoking weed. I can't do this anymore. Because I was starting to feel fucking schizophrenic. I was like, this isn't me. I don't know what this voice is, but it's not me. And during all of this, the Ouija board just lived in my closet. And at this point, when all this weed stuff was happening, I moved to my dad's. I ended up moving back and I started having all this spooky stuff happening. I remember it was around Halloween, I think, because we had the Halloween decorations in a box sitting in the living room. And we had these light bulbs that were like Jason heads that would light up and it would play the Jason music. And it only did that if you fucking touched it. And so this one day I was home, it was the middle of the day. I was I was watching a deep dive video on some family that had like a demon energy in their house. And I remember like I was really scared. And I was like watching this video and I think I was talking to myself about it or I was filming videos of myself talking about it for my story or something like that. And then all of a sudden, the Jason fucking light bulbs started going off. Nothing touched it. Nothing fucking touched it. It was sitting in the living room, just in a box, and it started going off with that creepy music. And I was like, oh my god, this is freaking me out. But that wasn't it. I would be in my room, and I remember one night I was in my room, and I didn't have sleep paralysis. I think I was like trying to fall asleep, and I saw like this dark shadow mass just in the corner of my ceiling. And then I remember I closed my eyes and I got this like flash of a demon's face. And I was like, okay, so that just fucking happened. Another time I had a dream of like a dead girl with like long black hair. I can't really remember exactly. I just started having all of these like really demonic dreams. I was having weird things happen in the house. Even when I would be at work, I had something tug my hair. And I still to this day don't know if it was my grandpa or not because at that time I was getting really close with my grandpa's spirit and I don't know if he was like pulling a joke on me, but this was all happening at the same time. So it could have been the demon. I don't know. All I know is all this bad shit was happening and I was like, I need to get rid of the Ouija board. And I didn't even know it was in my fucking closet. So the fact that when I realized it was in my closet, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense why I'm seeing fucking demons in the corner of my room and having all these dreams. There's a fucking demon board in my closet. And I remember the energy in my closet too. It was like scaring me. Like it just felt dark. It felt negative. And I was like, okay. So I was into spirituality, like I said. And I'm like, okay, fuck you. Like you have controlled me for years. You'd put this negative energy on my family. Like I'm just done. So I start saging the room. I start putting salt in all corners of the room. I start saying all the negative energy in this house needs to leave. And we also had a plan to get rid of the board and I asked my sister like, "Do you want to help me get rid of this cuz I'm actually like so fucking done. I'm done with this era. I'm done with this chapter. I need new energy in my life. I can't fucking do it." So, we took the board to a school, a high school near our house. This was like I feel like this was during the summer. I don't know. I'm confused, okay? It was sometime where it was still kind of warm out. We took it to the school, and I remember school wasn't happening at the time, and it was daylight. And we dug a hole, and we fucking buried it. I remember we were recording ourselves kind of laughing because it was kind of like funny, like, what the fuck are we doing? So we basically said prayers and we were like, fuck you, we are done with this, you don't have any control over us, we're burying you. And I got rid of it. I put salt in all the corners of the house, I saged everything. Um, and I felt like things got better after that. I truly feel like after that, I got way more into spirituality. I started learning tarot. I started feeling better. My mental health got better. I started feeling like I didn't have a weight on me. I started feeling excited about life. I didn't want to fucking kill myself. Like, I do feel like things got better. But it is also the way you look at it. I mean, my brother died a few years after that, but I truly don't think it was because of any of that. I just think that was meant to happen. I'm just talking energy wise. It does feel like things got a lot better. It feels like the energy in our house got better. And yeah, so that's my story. That's my paranormal story with the Ouija board and the torment it did to me over the years. I'm probably missing some things that happened, but it's kind of all a blur at this point because so many things happen at so many different times. And this is the finished look. What do you guys think? I feel like I did a good like I feel like anybody could do this and it would look good. I feel like it's hard to make it look bad just because when you have the bruise colors and the blood, it's like you can make anything look like a wound. So I feel like I kind of went for like a zombie flesh eating disease look at the end. I wasn't really aiming for that, but that's where we ended up. But yeah, that's going to be all for today's episode of Freaky Friday. I'm really excited for next week, so stay tuned. And like I said, I'm going to be posting a spooky video every Friday leading up to Halloween. And for the last video, I want to do something very crazy and exciting. If you guys like my vibe, make sure you subscribe so you can see those videos coming up. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!